Hello respected viewers, I'm George from Ireland. Behind me you can see the house where Edward Lear lived much of his adult life, there with that grey door and the lantern above it. So yon house is 7 stories tall if you count the basement, and look how tall the first floor windows are where the dining room is. So anyway, Lear was born in about 1820 in London, not in this house in Holloway, considerably further north and east. Anyway, so he was, well, from a family that was happy. His parents had a very, very happy marriage. So happy, in fact, that they had 21 children, and he was the penultimate one. But as you can imagine, his mother was very tired by this stage. I wonder if you ever forgot his name. He didn't have a middle name. There's possibly they just run out of names. They couldn't think of any. Or if you're going to give him 2 each, that'd be 42 names. You want to start repeating them. Anyhow, his father was a stockbroker, so he was well got. However, things started to go badly for the family. They started to live in straitened circumstances. He was mostly brought up by his much older sister Anne. She was 21 years older than him. She was really his mother figure right until he reached middle age, by which stage she was rather infirm herself and died shortly thereafter. I'm not sure if she ever married. So Lear, he was afflicted with a number of infirmities. He had grand mal epilepsy. I think as Freud said, that quite often co-occurs with homosexuality. Not saying that the latter is a malady, but he found this to be acutely embarrassing, and he hated it when this struck him in public. So he was able to sense it coming on. When he had a premonition there was going to be an epileptic fit, he would try to go somewhere private. Anyway, he didn't go to school very much, partly because of his illness, and he became a draftsman, and he was drawing for money by the age of 16. He was principally an ornithological artist, and he spent a lot of time in the countryside. He went to Knowsley Hall a lot, which is a stately home of the Earl of Derby. That Earl of Derby, that particular one, the 13th Earl, became Prime Minister, and he was quite close to him. So they had their own menagerie, and he'd go into the aviary and sketch all our feathered friends. But he drew all sorts of other things. He could play a number of musical instruments, so he's very keen on that. And in his early adulthood, he began to travel extensively to France, to Switzerland, and to Italy. So he spent much of his adult life abroad. But when he was in London, he was here and composing nonsense verse, for which he's known best. So come on, we all wanted this one. I can't really remember it. The Owl and the Pussycat by Edward Lear. How it goes? I don't really know. They dined on mince and pieces of quince, and supped with a runcible spoon. And on the sand they danced to the light of the moon, they danced to the light of the moon, and playing that sitar and all the rest of it. Oh, you elegant fowl, I can't remember how the rest it goes. Oh pussy, my love, what a lovely pussy you are, what a lovely pussy you are. Or is it, what a beautiful pussy you are, what a beautiful pussy you are. That one might sound just a trifle risque these days, but methinks in the 19th century it didn't have quite the gynecological connotations that it does nowadays. And I didn't know what quince was for years. It's in Romania, of all places. Someone was serving me this fruit, this pinky orange fruit, these little tiny little globe things, and she didn't know what it was. She looked up the dictionary. It's quince. Because I knew it was something edible, but they sailed away for a year and a day and all the rest of it, and they were married by whoever it was who lives on the hill, who wore a little ring at the end of his nose, a ring at the end of his nose. See, I can't commit it to memory. So he wrote more nonsense verse, and the Lord Derby was his patron. It pleased him immensely that his surname Lear happened to be a anagram of Earl. Now on for one of my favourite things, nominative determinism. King Lear, the deranged monarch of the Shakespeare play, who's evidently played with a beard. Did Lear think that this was somehow him, like Lear? And yes, he did have a long beard. He liked composing limericks. He was almost myopic, a bit of a disadvantage for an artist, you might have thought. So he fell in love with a barrister much younger than himself. Didn't work out. Travelled to Albania a bit, and then his cook was more or less his major domo as well, despite being dreadful at cooking, according to Lear. So he died in San Remo, and that's where he's laid to rest. San Remo is this gorgeous resort town on the Ligurian Riviera. That's Italy. So I've been there. Highly recommended. So yeah, published quite a few books, composed a little bit of music too. And he often illustrated the works of Tennyson, who was a huge fan of Tennyson, actually. So this was turned into a hotel, and there was a blue plaque which they removed a few years ago. I can't for the life of me think why. Was wandering up and around here trying to find it again. And then when coronavirus is over, maybe it'll reopen as a hotel. So that is the Edward Lear House Hotel. Toodaloo, bye.